Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday.
How's it going?
Going good, my man. How about you, brother?
I'm doing all right. Keeping busy, doing a lot of research lately on some stuff. Just not the kind of stuff you think.
Fair enough. Yeah, my brain pretty much exploded on my research today, and I'll share all that with you guys later today. But I want to say, hey, thanks for tuning in today. And of course, the first one in the room was our beloved Abdul. Great to see you, buddy. And of course, the lovely Miss Rosalind. How you doing, my dear? Happy Thursday, everyone. Yes, Rags to Riches, let's go. And BTK, brother, says, Rags to Riches, more like bags to riches now. No kidding, man. The markets are doing great. I'm loving this. Even this little pullback. It's okay. It gives me a chance to dip in and scoop up a few more coins. So, yeah, keep building, keep collecting out there. And Ristar, my man, is laughing to BTK. Says, yeah. Has the stream started? No, it just started. We just got here. So thanks for tuning in, my man. And as you guys know, the voting polls are open. They started Thursday morning. And so always make sure to vote before you get here because we had a couple people, including a guy who forgot to vote. Shh, don't tell him. But yes, it's easy to forget. So what I recommend is, hey, vote before you get here or while you're waiting for us to start. So either way, we're in for a good time.
Absolutely. I hear that there's something about an upgrade for the Ethereum network. And I heard that you've been doing some research on that. So why don't you go ahead and share with us what you have discovered? Because I'm curious.
I was going to let you go first.
I haven't had time to look into it. I've been too busy.
Okay, so first of all, guys, I am not an engineer, okay? I don't code. I know enough to know that I don't know anything. Okay, that's about my level of coding aspect. So take that to heart right there. So yes, Ethereum did a major upgrade yesterday called Dencun. Yeah, Dencun. Dencun. Huh?
Who names these?
The great thing is, if you really want a super in-depth understanding of where the names come from, all the coding aspects, every little detail, I've got an in-depth video I'm going to share with you guys. I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to give you the link so you can go look it up yourself. So,
are you going to drop that in the description of the video later?
Yes, I will.
Cool.
Put that down there. And the guy does a great breakdown, but literally it melted my brain. So, long story short, the Dencun upgrade consisted of 9 EIPs. Now, that's quite a few of them. Typically, you get 2 or 3. So, they did 9 at once. And all in all, went off pretty smooth. There was a 4-hour delay because there was one little hitch in the fractional code somewhere where it could have caused problems. They found it, they fixed it, start to finish, good as gold. Took 4 hours to fix and launch. So we're up and running. So essentially what this is going to do is give us cheaper gas fees, especially on the L2 blockchains. We're talking, it's supposed to be moving them from dollars to pennies. Pretty huge, significant changes there. Now, they're doing this by introducing a new concept called a data blob. I know it sounds screwed up, but apparently a data blob is an engineering term. I don't know. So essentially, it's a blob of data that is stored on every single node. So right now on your consensus nodes, every node had to keep a running log of every transaction that occurs forever. They're basically a mirror image. Well, with this new system, this data is now going to be in the form of a blob versus using the call data method. So,
okay.
Does that make sense to you? Okay, good. And instead of putting this information into the block, they're going to bolt it on the side of the block. So it's still accessible, but the nodes can delete this blob after 18 days. Now, we know we only have time to file a dispute against a false transaction of 14 days. So there's no reason to have all these nodes keeping all this data forever on every single one. It's insane. So they're reducing the storage capacity necessary to maintain the blockchain.
Okay, that makes sense because currently, if you want to track who owns an NFT, you can't just do a search for the NFT if you're using blockchain API. You literally have to go to where it first popped up and then run a check to see everywhere it went and where it is now. And that's why anytime you might have seen it if you're in a Discord and they have collab land, 9 times out of 10 it's what, couple of seconds, and it checks and it says, okay, yeah, you've got these tokens, great, and gives you the roll. But if you have an NFT, it can take a couple minutes. You ever notice that? And if it's an NFT collab land, it can take a couple minutes because it has to track all of that. And so if they switch to this style, instead of having to run a call data function on a smart contract to get the information you need, it's there in the blob from what you're explaining. And that would essentially reduce the amount of checking it needs to do to figure out where things are located, which should save on gas. It's less data that needs to be transmitted, smaller block size, which means smaller transaction size, not smaller block size, but a lighter block, meaning that it needs to retain less information. So it's got room for more transactions per block, which then allows people to pay less per transaction. The way it works currently on Ethereum networks, right, is it's got X amount of transactions it can do per block. And it's not a whole lot. So when the network gets congested and a lot of people are trying to push transactions through, a queue kind of forms and gas gets expensive in order for it to be transacted within a reasonable time frame, right? You can, so something I used to do when the networks were really congested in 2017, if I needed to move ETH, I'd put it through with like $5 of gas while gas costs were like anywhere from $300 to like $1,000, and it would take forever, but eventually it would go through as long as I set MetaMask or the platform to not auto time out my transaction, right? To tell it was okay to keep waiting. So by decreasing the bloat of the block, they're making room for more transactions, so you can fit more people on the ship, so to speak, and so it costs less per ticket to cover the costs overall because you can fit more people on there.
Right, and in fact, that's one of one of these IEPs or EIPs. They've actually limited the size of the information that's allowed, so they've moved to a modular network. So now, give you guys a really super simple analogy. If none of this made sense, that we just talked about, okay, I'm going to give you a draw it and crayon rendition, and people are going to laugh at me. That's okay. So when Ethereum first came out, basically it was like the store. Okay, every transaction, every receipt went on the blockchain. Okay, and obviously, as it grew, we ran out of room. Things just weren't working well. So we came out with the layer twos. Now the layer twos, their job was to keep all the receipts. They entered it into a ledger. That ledger was now inserted on the blockchain. So it condensed it. They didn't have as much to track. Now with this new upgrade, your blobs are holding your receipts. L2s are holding your ledgers, and they can only push the data they've scanned and confirmed to the blockchain. So now only this is getting uploaded to the Ethereum blockchain now. That's what all this upgrade is in the evolution. And yes, that should reduce the size, allow more transactions, as well as reduce the gas fees per transaction.
Yeah, I imagine they could store the data that they were previously storing with the transactions in the blob, and then just have the block call the data it needs from there. It's a smart way to do it, and it seems fairly innovative, and it may be a step in the right direction to being able to handle transactions at scale across a layer one.
Exactly, and like BTK says, and then layer threes were born. And yeah, it's pretty impressive. They've got a whole roadmap of how they want to evolve the Ethereum blockchain, and they're still not there yet. This is on the roadmap. There's many, many more steps to take it to a mainline retail transaction system.
Nice. And honestly, that's what we need, right? You know, if you don't have the infrastructure in place to make it easy for the regular user to use, you're not going to get widespread adoption.
Right. Exactly. And plus, at the same time, I mean, me personally, I've been avoiding Ethereum like the plague. I'm not going to pay $50 for gas. That's just stupid. And that's why I fell in love with AVAX, because, you know, you back up 3 years ago, AVAX was one of the cheapest out there. It was great. Better than BNB, better than Ethereum. It was more the degen play, but that became my favorite, just simply because gas fees. Anytime I see something on Ethereum, nope, I'm not even touching it. I don't even care. And that's horrible because it's got some of the best security and capabilities in the infrastructure.
Yep, maybe now that gas is less, I can look at some of the degen plays that the guys keep posting over in my trading Discord. They're always seemingly on Ethereum, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with the gas. I don't keep funds on Ethereum layer one. I just don't. It's why would you? It costs a lot more just to move your funds around. It's kind of like the difference between driving a V12 and a 3-cylinder Toyota.
Right. If you're only going a block to get a gallon of milk, you don't really need to break out the big dog. Once in a great while, great. Take that V12 out for a spin, have some fun. Know that you're going to pay through the nose for it, but hey, it might be worth it then. But like you're talking those degen plays, I've been watching a lot of Discords and seeing these that, hey, you buy this meme coin and it's doing a 2x already, and it's going to do another 2x, and it only costs $0.0001. It's like, yeah, but the gas is $60. The hell?
Dude, so many people when they first got into crypto that I know from the more recent, like last bull run, their first experience was the meme coin Shiba Inu, right? I'm pretty sure that was like the big one at the time because Dogecoin had just run and someone's like, oh, I can copy that, right? And thus a lot of degen meme coins were born. The story's always the same. I was like, oh, I'll toss $100 into it, right? And then they look and they're like, I got $30 worth of tokens.
Yep.
And I spent how much on gas?
Right.
What? And then they reach out to the person who showed them, the token. They're like, yo, is this normal? Did I just get ripped off? What's going on? And they're like, oh, that's just gas. Gas?
Exactly. Yeah, and it's a painful, shocking experience. I remember when I first did it. Yeah, it's like you scrape up enough money to go buy something. It's like, okay, mine was an NFT way back in the day, and it was like, okay, the NFT was like $60, so I scraped it together. Okay, another $10. Okay, go to buy that NFT. Oh, that's $180. I'm like, excuse me? How was it 3 times the price? That doesn't make any freaking sense. And yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it can be. It can be, absolutely. And it looks like you got some spam from your Twitch.
It does. Yes. Thank you. And I need to get rid of that one. No, I want to hide that. Where's my DM? Ignore that. It'll go away.
Hey, Abdul. Doing well, thank you. Glad
Doing
you could
good,
join
my man.
today.
So, actually, it's pretty fascinating. And this is why all of a sudden we start seeing these blockchains like ZK Sync and Base and all these L2s are coming out because they knew this technology was coming. It's been getting worked on quite some time. So the trick is now we can diversify into multiple blockchains. We're not just stuck with one layer 2 of Arbitrum. We have all these other ones, and then each one has its own pros and cons. So I'm seeing a huge shift in evolution with just this one upgrade.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure that we'll see much more to come as people realize, hey, maybe it's okay to start building on Ethereum again, building our protocols over there. It wouldn't surprise me if we see an influx of forks of current projects on L2s on Ethereum and doing really well because the bulk of liquidity tends to reside on the Ethereum network. So there's a lot of big spenders over there. So it wouldn't surprise me, and maybe because of the Dencun upgrade, we might see a new form of market this go around, right? Because now you're going to be seeing a lot more meme coins pop up on Ethereum as well. You're going to see protocols that maybe did really, really well last run, but were on an L2 that not a lot of people maybe knew about, relaunch again, this time on Ethereum 1 under different branding, different name, different leadership, and pump even more than it did before. So just keep your eyes out for those opportunity plays. If you're looking at something that's like, ooh, we're going to launch on Ethereum, blah, 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 and you're reading through the docs and you're like, wow, this really sounds familiar. It sounds a lot like this other project, and that project did well. Maybe it might be worth tossing a couple bucks into the seed round.
Yeah. Just don't wait till it gets hyped up. That's when you know it's too late.
Now, once everyone starts talking about, that that $1 billion market cap, or trying to see like, oh, what would our price be at $1 billion? That's when you sell, right? Because that's when mania is at an all-time high. You get out when it's already gone up a bunch, right? And people start saying, oh, it's going to keep going, it's going to go to here, and they set some target that's like twice that price, despite the fact that you had several $1 million of volume pour into it to bring it to where it is now. Okay, so you're expecting the exact same amount's going to continue and then do that like 10 times more to get us double to where we are now. Like, you got to figure that factor into it, right? Like, right. Something might have a $50 million market cap, and they got that because they had like $2 million of inflow. Because again, remember, market cap is not a good representation of liquidity. You can get a good market cap like that with like 2 million or so inflow on a decent project. They would need that much more and then more to double that, right? Because again, liquidity pool dynamics, it's getting more and more expensive to move it just a little bit more as the price goes up. So that's a good time to get out.
Exactly. And, I've been playing that play myself on a meme coin, the Peng token. I'm not going to shoulder anything, but launched a few days ago. It kind of went up a little bit and then kind of sideways. Then it started trending. I grabbed a couple bucks worth. Okay, cool. Went to bed, woke up the next day. It's like, hey, quick, 2x. All right, cash out. I'm out of here. Later, guys. And that's playing the money game. And we try to teach you guys how to do that the right way here. It's not following the hype. Once you start seeing it on the news, you're too late. Just don't even bother. Change channels, walk away, go find something new.
Yep. What I usually recommend, you were good to see the 2x and like cash. But what I usually recommend to people is, if you're looking at it and you're seeing momentum's there and it's still there, take out 50%, right? That way you get your initial back. Then if it goes up to 3x from your initial, well, now you just doubled that again, right? Because you have what you left in there, and now it's worth what your initial was, plus the profit again. So your $1,000 that became 2,000, took 1,000 out, now it's 2,000 again, right? That's your moon bag. And then once it's 2,000 again, you take out another 50%, get that 1,000. Well, there's your profit. Now you still have 1,000 in there, right? If it runs, great. If it doesn't, and it drops, okay, if it drops down to be worth $500, sell it. Now you've made a total of $2,500 off $1,000, right? And instead of having to try to be like, oh, I got to find that one that's going to go up 100x so that my $100 becomes worth, 10 grand, right? Instead of trying to find that, you're finding something a lot more realistic, right? You're finding that 2x, take 50%. 3x, take another 50%. Now you've got 25% of your original. And if you remember, that's the rules we're following here at the Rags to Riches wallet for how to take profit, because that's the shit that works. Okay. That's what forces, following strategies like that is what forces you to take your profit instead of holding, hoping that you're going to run up and then holding too long. Right. And yeah, I get it. It's going to suck doing it with $100, right? Because, oh, great, I made $250 and it's, being in this project for 3 weeks. Stop looking at the dollars, look at the percentage. Because if you keep following this, the beauty of it is it does compound, right? Because now instead of putting $100 in, you're able to put 200 in, follow the same pattern. 300, etc. And of course, this whole time you're building up money that you're not putting into these projects. You're keeping it in your blue chips, etc. You're taking that percentage that's on top of the initial, right? Because initially you're going to start off, you're going to $100 in, cash out 100 at $200, cash out another 100 when it hits $200 again. Okay, I've doubled my money. I've got my initial back to put into something else. And then I have this to put in my blue chips. You put it in your blue chips. Worst case scenario, maybe the second one doesn't hit off, right? Maybe you don't make anything. Maybe you lose. Okay, well, you still have this that you can pull from to do it again. And realistically, you should have a minimum of 4 things that you're doing this with, right? So if you have $400 to invest, you're putting 100 into each. Don't just put 400 into one thing, because what if it doesn't, right? Keep it a small amount. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to put $10 into this, $10 into that, $10 into that. You're going to screw yourself, right? Keep it a smaller amount, like 4. Be religious with when you're taking profits, right? And you will begin to grow a portfolio. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes patience. Yes, it takes discipline. But that's why those are the first 2 rules of the rules of solvency, right? You know, you will not succeed in a journey of investment without those 2 qualities. And yeah, it sucks building them, but you don't build them without the opportunity to give them, right? Like if you need more patience, you're not going to suddenly get patience. You're going to get opportunity to be patient, right?
Exactly. And yeah, and that's one thing is I know that one of my flaws is I hold things too long. And that's why instead of holding it too long, it's like, you know what? I doubled it. Be happy with that. So I'm trying to teach myself to be happy with the 2x. I don't have to wait until a 10x. And so utilizing the rules of solvency, tweaking them slightly because I know my personality. Now, everybody has their own weaknesses, their own addictions, things like that. And you've got to assess yours. You've got to decide what's right for your strategy. We're going to teach you the best one we possibly can. But even the rules of solvency, I've tweaked those slightly because I know I have an addictive personality. So I have to modify that. Because I know if I only take half off and I leave it all at the last, I'll wait till it's 5x, then I'll pull it out. I'm going to wreck myself. I know that. That's me. I got to be honest. So find what works for you, but use smart strategic practices.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's going to be tough when the bull mania is here. And I know everyone's like, what do you mean when it's here? Aren't we in the bull? Yes. Okay. Yes, we are in a bull market, the beginnings of it. And despite the fact that we have broken the previous all-time high for Bitcoin, this is the beginning of it. Okay. Yeah, sure. There is an option on the table, a possibility that we could see a pullback to like the 42 to 44K region of Bitcoin post-halving. That is a potential. However, I really don't see that necessarily happening to that quite of an extent. I see maybe like 58 as a potential, maybe 55. But who knows?
Yeah, I was thinking about 56 is what I'm kind of running with in my brain. So time will tell. But now that brings up a quick question I want to ask, Cyril, is we know we have the Ethereum ETFs looking for approval in, is it May? I believe May is when. Now we just had the Ethereum upgrade, which, you know, streamlines the L2s, lowers the gas fees. So do you think that one, do you think it's going to get approved? And 2, do you think that's going to have the same effect on Ethereum once it is approved? Yes on both?
So, I mean, because look at it this way. So if Ethereum becomes a more attractive option for a lot of these DeFi projects to build on, what's that going to do, right? Instead of sharding that liquidity off to the L2s, right, it's going to stay on Ethereum. Okay, all these protocols, if they're pairing to the chain natives, are going to be paired to ETH on that network, right? Which that means it's going to go up, right? Money is coming in from people buying to get into the meme coin, and the Ethereum staying there. So we would see Ethereum benefit greatly from that, in addition to seeing an effect similar to what we've seen with Bitcoin and the ETFs purchasing up buttloads of it, right? I mean, when BlackRock does their BTC buys now with their ETF, they do it in amounts of over 10,000. Like, it's not insignificant. And we would see similar coming to Ethereum. And I think a very attainable target for Ethereum this bull run is 10K. Like, I think that's a very attainable target. When you look at where it's at already, right? It's already chilling near its highs from last bull run. Bitcoin's already broken its all-time high a little bit. And we're not even post-halving. Ethereum isn't in the ETF currently, right? And yet it's also rapidly being brought up, almost breaking all-time highs, right? So put a little 2 and 2 together and picture now the same kind of draw that's being drawn from BTC is now also on top of that being drawn on Ethereum. Despite the fact that Ethereum has been keeping up very nicely with Bitcoin, despite not receiving that same kind of draw yet. This rise for Ethereum is just pure correlation and speculative people trying to price in the ETF. But the problem is you can't price this shit in. It's how can you price in the buying power of 5% of every retirement firm value increase and fund flow increase flowing in to something that doesn't really inflate anywhere near like our fiat does?
Can't.
In.
It's not possible. It's right now we're in uncharted territory. I mean, it's like Star Trek. We're going out to the great unknown. Nobody has any idea what this is going to look like a year from now, 5 years, 10 years. Not a clue. But we know it's going to look nothing like it did last bull run.
My target of the for Bitcoin of the low end being 120, upper end being 180. That was before the talk of Bitcoin ETFs even became a thing, because I've been calling that as my target for this run. Before we even hit the previous run, I was saying the following run after that one would go up to those ranges, right? I mean, it's there in the logarithmic chart that Bitcoin's been following from inception. But this shift, it breaks the models, right? And it's just not, you can't predict it. Like my current targets for Bitcoin, it's based off of the old model. I don't have a way of giving more accurate models towards this because this isn't something that has ever occurred in the history of Bitcoin, right? Of crypto.
Exactly. Yeah, it's an entirely new environment. And this is throwing a wild card in. So either way, like we've talked about since beginning of this and all through crypto journey, is that digital currency is definitely the wave of the future. What that's going to look like, we don't know. But I think we can all agree it's here to stay and it's going to dominate moving forward.
I can agree with that. And, crap. I had a thought that I wanted to add, and then I lost it. Off it went. But, that was what I was going to say. So anyone who's trying to tell you, I know where it's going, and this is me saying this, right? Y'all have heard about my previous predictions. Many of you watching have seen my chart analysis take place right in front of you. I mean, we've done that here on the show where I was like, Matic's going to go down here. And then we check in the next week and sure it did. But no one is going to be able to accurately predict within any degree of where this is going to wind up or how this is going to play out, because this is uncharted. This is new. So the only thing that you can do during times like this is to stick with the fundamentals. Look at your momentum. Look at the inflow outflow. Look at volume over time. Look at, are we near psychological levels that people might be like, these are the numbers they were talking about, so I should start selling here. Like, you're going to have to stick with those kinds of things and stick with your discipline, right? Of religiously, I make a purchase, I follow that DCA out just like I follow my DCA in, and stick with it. That's the only thing that's going to be a rock for you in the way that these markets are going to be like an unexplored ocean. You have no idea where the reefs are. Okay. So stick with your rules, follow the lighthouse. It's going to be your guidance, and make some money.
There you go.
Making money.
Yes.
Who wins $10 this week?
That's a great question. But before I share that, I got a little bit of tidbit. if you stick around to the end of the show, I have a bonus giveaway. Yeah, I'll share it with you later. Not going to say it's a big prize or anything, but it's something that I thought was really cool, and I want to start sharing it to you guys. Now, if you happen to be a family member of the Down Home Crypto Discord, you already know, and you already get one for free. So I put a link in there for every family member who's decided to click that join button down below and become a family member. Not only do they get the early alpha information, they also get special perks, because I like to give back to those who give the community. So thank you.
I like special perks.
Absolutely. Don't we all like free stuff? So, as you guys know, the voting polls run from Thursday morning till Wednesday night. Now, if you cast your vote, of course, you get to dance for cash right here every week. Now, if you were like some people, then you might have forgot. Hey, it happens. We all do it. But make sure to go and vote Thursday morning before the show. Now, if you're not already part of the Discord, definitely hop in. And you can talk to some amazing people and learn some awesome stuff. And we'll talk about anything. We play games. We do DGen plays, TAs, whatever you want to do. We've got somebody in there who can get you lined up. So there's a link to Down Home Crypto Discord. But, yeah, BTK's laughing. It's like, I wasn't very subtle. I've never done subtle. What can I say?
Well, I like Rooster's.
He's crying. Sorry, Rooster. I couldn't resist, man. You have been so good for so long. It's rare it occurs. So, yeah, Rooster, I might even give you a little extra love, and just because you are one of my favorites. So thank you, brother, for being here.
Ooh, you have favorites now?
Shh, don't tell.
I'm telling. Serenity has favorites, and you heard it here first.
So let's find out who's going to dance for cash. Oh, yeah.
Dance
Do the audio.
Dance for your bees.
Exactly. Except for, I think we got too many to dance. I think we're going to have to do the wiggle worms. Wiggle worm, wiggle worm. Okay, who's ready for some blood, guts, gore, and mayhem? Ha 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 ha. Rooster says, oh dear. I like that. You like that just sudden silence and pause like, wait, they all stopped. What's going on?
Well,
okay.
I'm not doing it right now. Sharing your stuff.
It's doing the echo thing. Okay, so yeah, usually that's when you pipe up, but I forget. I sure. Fair enough. Are we ready? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wiggle, grubbies, wiggle. Okay, and yes, I'm in there, and if I come up, extra $10 gets added to the pot, and we go again. Ooh, that's a saw blade. That's new. Am I still in there? Yep, I'm right there. Okay, I'm still alive. Oh, just missed me. Hey, I might actually win this one. See Hope Giver. I see Jay Steen. Whew. They just missed a bullet. That was close. Up on me. Looks like you're going to blow. Now he's going turbo. Oh! That was gruesome. I'm dead, I think. Jay Steen, Hope Giver, Mossman. No, I'm still alive. Look at that. Jay Steen got big. What the hell was that thing? That's all new. What is this? Oh, JC, no! I can't watch. Ugh. Mossman! Woohoo! Congratulations, Mossman. Okay, that was totally weird. I've never seen the roller thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff on that one.
Right. They did an upgrade too.
That just did a sweep across like that.
Yeah, that was insane. So congrats, Mossman. Shoot me a DM in the Discord. Send me your wallet address, and I'll make sure Wild Angel sends you over $10 this weekend for voting. Now, as you guys know, make sure to hop in the Discord, cast your votes, and be a part of this, because we decide on what you vote for. And I'm kind of curious. You guys have been doing this now for 42 weeks? Is that right?
Geez, what episode are we on? Yes. This is episode 42.
Okay. So I'm really kind of curious. How has our crew been doing on their voting patterns here?
Could be better. Could be better.
Let's find out.
All right. So as you guys remember, and I'm just teasing, by the way, you all did great. We started the week with $1,439.90, and we ended the week with $1,554.69 for a gain of $114.79, or 7.38%, which
Nice.
I think is pretty amazing, considering. So our entire portfolio now is up a total of 40.33%.
Nicely done. Now, I want to point something out here because actually, it was Hope Giver I was talking to the other day. I said, Serenity, I did the math, and if we just put that $25 aside, we'd be sitting at like almost $1,000 now. So, I'm not really sure I grasp the benefits. So I want to remind everybody out there, our first initial buildup was creating our portfolio. That's how we built our bag. We built it before everything starts going through the roof to the moon. And now we're starting to see those gains. So all those 40 weeks that we kept putting that $25 away, we kept giving up that McDonald's to eat that peanut butter sandwich. Well, that's what gave us our $1,000 to watch go explosive. And as you can see right now, it's doing just that.
Yep, it absolutely is. So we're going to chuck in our next 25, which we'll figure out what that's going to be later.
Yes.
And we're going to start the new week at $1,579.69. And because all of you out there did indeed say yes to taking profit on 50% of our BNB when it hit 500, I was a little more strategic with it than that. So I took 25% profit at 518, and then I took another 25% profit at like 583. So I got a DCA out essentially closer to the 560, no, like 550 something, I guess, would be the halfway point between those two. So and we still have the other 50% of our BNB. Let's go take a look at what our holdings are sitting at. So
yes, please.
We have our spot holdings. So we have our Matic, of which you guys had me add some more last week, and that brought our Matic up. Our total Matic value is now sitting at $124.60. We have $231 of undeployed USDC sitting as a strategic potential opportunity in the future. We got that through our profits of taking profits on our BNB. We had 60 of it from taking profits on e-money, I think, which, hey, I mean, we took profits at like the best time on Elephant Money. It hasn't ever gone back up anywhere near above where we sold. We sold at like literally the top. So good job, guys. Our BNB holdings are now down to about 271. Yeah, 271. 272 and change across BSC and Polygon. We still have our Solana, but we only ever bought Solana like
once a while.
Twice. I think we bought it twice, and it's doubled in value, or close to it. So we spent like $10. It's worth like $36 right now. So hey,
nice.
We still have the mass that's in our, is it the mass or the L? Yeah, our mass that's staked, earning us BUSD. Our Elephant WBNB pool is now up to $54.86. It was $45.20. I just left that there so I could show you guys the difference. A good chunk of that is because the BNB in there has gained so much value. Not necessarily the Elephant token, because the Elephant token has gone down since we were last in there. So we would have made better just hanging on to BNB in this case. But remember, we wanted to look into making LPs, see what that looked like, see how it earned. And when we do pull that LP, I'll be able to grab all the metrics of like what it earned as far as fees, blah, 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 yada, yada. But moving on, our KKF, I did just stake the KKF that we have because the Cassandra DAO platform recently, here, show this tab instead, 11% APR on KKF, no time locks, because you know me, I don't like time locking my stuff. So we locked our KC and we're earning, we locked our KKF and we're earning our KC token. And then after the show, I'm going to stake our AKKF and we can start earning from that as well. And that one actually has a higher APR because there's less TVL in that pool right now. So it's more incentivized. And then we can earn Cassandra DAO tokens, which are what you guys voted for last week. We did buy those. We did not stake them because there's a time lock with that stake. And the amount that it would earn us is more akin to, well, here, hold on, where did it go? This pool. So we would have to time lock it with a withdrawal delay of 45 days. So it's like, it's not really time locked. You can lock it and then request withdrawal immediately, but there's a 45-day delay. Wow. A 45-day delay before we can actually get it back. And to me, a 45-day delay does not justify the 27%, at least not in DeFi. So we're not staking it. But yeah, and then similar to, where'd it go? Hold on. So because we hold this, similar to how we take profits on things at a certain period of time, so does AKKF, because it is a higher risk one. And it looks like the AKKF took profit on a token called LPT. That was an asset within it because it went up 200%. So they swapped that, it looks like, into USDC right there. So they've been doing that as well. Yeah, if you LPT, I guess when they bought it was $7.07, and now it's $27. So that's the beauty of the ETFs that we're invested in right here, right? Like they just do it for us.
There you go. And that's the best way to do it because, yeah, I know I'm horrible at keeping an eye on stuff. I forget I have investments out there. So putting it all in one place and knowing that it's managed for me, man, that's brilliant. I love it.
Yep, I like it too. And here's something worth noting, and I would have normally just adjusted it before the stream, but remember how we set this at $1,500? Initially, I think it was set at like $500 when we started this journey, and then the top was 1,000, and now the top's 1,500. You know,
we keep breaking our chart.
Well, it's just neat. Because we're seeing, we saw that slow move growth, and then now it's just
it's going parabolic.
Fun times start, right?
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, this thing's just going to go epically high. It's going to be insane. We're going to look back, to those 40 weeks, and because during that time it seemed kind of painful. I mean, there were some weeks we were down, some we were up, and it's very easy to get disheartened. It's like, why am I even bothering? Because we're not looking at the short term.
Look at the first 17 weeks, dude. Yeah. We were doing nothing but losing an average of like 6% a week. It was rough. Every time we would put money in, it would go down. Like the second week, the first week we got lucky, right? We were up 5%, but then from there, it's just like, that's when everything just went down. And it continued going down. We'd have a good day, and then it would immediately get wiped right back out the following week, And then over time, we started seeing this, red, slowly start changing to a little less red, a little more green. Occasionally we'd have a week that would hit us out of nowhere and would wipe out the previous couple weeks, but it started shifting more to green weeks. And now we're seeing a lot less of the red weeks and a lot more of the green weeks. And because our portfolio has been growing larger, it started off small. So it was impacted a lot less by all that red. And then as it was shifting towards green weeks, right? And we were consistently DCAing, now we have more money that's going to benefit even more so from the green.
Exactly. And that's the most important thing there to remember is it doesn't matter what you start with. It doesn't matter if it's $5 a week or $10 a month or whatever. It's irrelevant. What matters is that you start. And that's the most important thing here is get in the game. Because as we talked about earlier, is we don't know what the future holds, but we do know digital currency is going to dominate. So, man, if you're not getting in now, a year from now, you're going to be sitting in the same position saying, oh, I wish I would have gotten in back when those crazy guys were telling me about it. My bad.
I can understand hesitancy though, right? And let's take a moment to get real for a second here. So in my life, personally, I am facing a couple of pretty big choices, right? And one of the things about choices is you never know the extent of the impact that they may or may not have. And it's easy to get analysis paralysis where you don't do anything because there's too many what ifs, right? Like there's so many options in front of you, so many different ways it could go. You decide, you know what? I'm just not going to do anything, or you can't make a decision on what to do. It is very easy to fall into that trap. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to decide, do I accept that new job? Do I change that career? Do I decide to go back to school? Do I decide to buy some property somewhere and just homestead it and separate myself from this? Whatever your decision is, just pick something, right? Just do something. Take that step. Because if you don't, and you fall into that analysis paralysis and that frozen in fear kind of situation, you're stopping yourself from achieving everything that you wanted. Because the fact of the matter is, life is what you make it. The older I get, the more I realize it really is exactly what you make it. And the situation that you're in is generally a result of either something that happened to you and your response to it, or something that was done to you and your response to it, or a choice you were given and your response to it. Your response plays a much bigger part than you think. And when you really break it all down at the end of the day, if you want to do something and it seems insurmountable, you don't need to worry about accomplishing the insurmountable. You just need to worry about accomplishing the first step, and then the second step, and then the third step, until you're there, right? Take it a little bit at a time. Don't look at everything and go, oh my God, there's no way I could do all of that. Just look at the one thing and make the life that matters to you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well said. And, that's one thing that so many people, they look at that end goal. It's like, I can never attain that. I'm not even going to try. Man, I quit my job as an electrician to do this, to be here with you guys to help educate, teach, and guide. I had no idea what it was going to come to. I had no idea who would show up, if anybody did. But I knew it's something I wanted to do. So yes, I quit a lucrative career to come do this and make nothing, but have a lot of fun doing it, because this is what I was inspired to do. And so the great thing is you can change, you can choose at any point in time in your life to switch directions. And even if you start that journey halfway down, say, you know what, this isn't where I want to be at. Great, turn left. Any point in time, you have that freedom of choice. Use it, people. Please, please use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you're looking at something and it seems far away and you're like, by the time I get through all of these steps, it's going to be 10 years from now. Well, guess what? The time's going to pass anyway.
Yep. It is. 10 years still goes by, and really 10 years is a drop in the bucket in the grand scheme. I mean, that's not even a blip on the radar in the cosmic time frame. So, try not to think on a narrow scope, but also remember the journey of getting there. I can tell you personally, that's like 80% of the fun. Once you get there, it's like, well, I'm here, now what? I remember all the good times I had getting here. That was the fun part.
Yeah. And if what's holding you back is worry that you might fail or you might wind up in a difficult situation, may I remind you that you have a 100% track record of getting through all of your worst days.
Yes.
You got this. Just go do it.
Exactly. And if you ever need somebody to remind you, hey, we're there in the Discord. Hop in. I'll chat with you. I'll jump on a video chat. Not a problem.
But speaking of the Discord, let's see what they voted for next week. Or for this week that I got to buy.
Yes, exactly. We're going to do that. But first, after listening to us ramble, and I want to say thank you to everybody who shows up, everybody who watches this on the restream, to Cyril for being here. And to say thank you, I want to give something away. So this is only for people who are watching the live event. So if you're here, awesome. Here's what I want you to do. Type in the chat, and I will share this because I'm just that kind of guy. There you go. NFT. 3 letters. NFT. I think it has to be capitalized, but I'm not sure. Capitalized just to be safe. What I want to give away is something that I ran across the other day, and I bought a whole bunch of them because I just love the imagery. So I'm going to give you guys an NFT called Serenity's Embrace. So this is on the Solana blockchain. It was a drop by the Pyth token. And so I got one of these dropped to me. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. So I went out and I bought like 80 of them. So I'm going to start giving away to you just because I love the title of it. I love the imagery. And it's the tranquility in the technical. And that's what I get out of this image is that globe is all the technical, the crypto world, all that. Everything else about it is the serenity. It's the peace. And that's really why I chose the name Serenity. So it kind of really sung to me. It's like, oh, I got to get some of these and I got to give them to my community. So family members in the family Discord, it always gives you instructions how to get yours. For anybody here, type in the chat, hash or just NFT straight up, and I'll be giving one of these away. So whoever the winner is, great. Shoot me your Solana wallet address and I'll send it over. If you don't know how to access Solana NFTs, I use Magic Eden. And I'll throw that in the chat here just so you know how to access it. Because I had to learn how to do it. I didn't know how to do it on Solana. So that's what I'm using. Totally up to you. But there you go. Okay, so let's pull up the vote. And then right after we discuss the vote, I'll do the giveaway. Give people time to put that in the chat there. And we'll go from there.
Can you share Embrace?
Yes. Are we? There we go. Was I muted? Or
no,
you were echoing.
But I was echoing, yes.
Okay, so this week's votes are Medic for blue chips. Nicely done. It was close. Ethereum was really pulling ahead. I mean, they came up to 10. It's neck and neck. So I think even our community sees that Ethereum is going to start picking up on the CTF, and it's going to be a good thing to get a hold of it for the future.
I think that I think it's a good pick because correlation-wise, it has not been following Bitcoin and ETH to the same percentage. So there's still value to be found there. Y'all remember in some of the earlier episodes, I was telling you all that my personal favorite blue chip at the time was BNB, and y'all looked at me like I was crazy, right? I would like to point out that since then, it has gone up 157% because a certain somebody was right, and it was being triple suppressed by all the coordinated FUD attacks by the SEC to bring Binance down and get CZ out of there so that they could approve the ETFs. And now it's up where it is. There
you go. Nice call. Good job, sir. And so... yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of growth. I think things are going to explode, and I don't even know what the future looks like, but I'm excited. It's going to be pretty wild.
I agree. And it looks like, okay, so we cycled back around to the KKF low risk.
We did.
Take more of my KKF, are we?
Yeah, exactly. 39%. So 12 voters went for the low risk. And now we did have a few additions here. We had the Monstro, the Perion, Render, Paper, and Kirk. So we had some additions there, but I didn't see a lot of comments in the discuss the vote. So everybody, please remember that when you do cast or add to the poll, and you can add to either one, jump in the channel right below that, discuss the vote, shoot some links in there. Let us know, hey, where do we look at the white paper? You know, what do you think about it? Give us your opinions. You can share your referrals in there. You can share whatever you want. Just everybody, please be safe, because the Discord does kind of monitor those. But remember to highlight any links. Make sure they go where you really think they go, so you don't get scammed. Because that is a huge thing that's going on right now. Is, you know, just last week I had 2 more imposters trying to be me. They had hair.
That's how we tell them apart.
Oh yeah, they had hair. They were out. But yeah, scams are running high out there, guys, and it's getting crazier and crazier. And now it's the point that you even click on a link and said what happened. I mean, it's scary. So, you know, we're smart about building our wealth, but we've got to be even smarter and more diligent about keeping it. So be safe always.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this back. I lost it there. Okay, so this is the NFT I'm giving away, and I see Jay Steen said, I still don't have a Sol wallet. I'm going to make one the other day, but haven't gotten there yet.
Personally, well, if you win, now you got a reason to.
Right, exactly. Personally, I use Phantom. I think it's one of the better ones, but that's totally up to you. You can use the MetaMask has snaps, where you can snap into the Soulflare wallet directly to it. And I've got a whole video on that in the family channel that I did for Project 2033 that walks you through that. And those will all be public here soon, so keep your eyes out.
Nice.
But if you would like to win... I'm sorry?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. I was going to let you.
No, I was like, let's see who won.
Exactly. So, I'm going to give you a few more seconds, guys. All you have to do is type in the chat, NFT. That's it. And it's just a way to say thank you for spending your evenings here Thursdays with us and showing up for Freaky Friday every Friday night, because that's where the real party is. So, let's see. Rooster asks, has Phantom gone mobile yet? Yes, it does. Yeah. I do it all the time, and it works great. Just as easy as my MetaMask. So that's my personal preference. Do your research, decide what's right for you. That's just the wallet that I'm utilizing. Cyril, do you even own a Solana wallet?
Yeah, I have several.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I know how you feel about Solana, so I wasn't quite sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just because I feel a certain way about it doesn't mean I can't make money off of it.
There you go. That's the way to do it. You know, if there was money to be made off Ford Motor Company, I would do it, even though I would never drive a Ford. That's just me. So.
Hey, at least you know I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, you know, you should buy this certain thing just because I have it. Because I've been sitting here poo-pooing the hell out of Solana, despite the fact that I've been trading it and making money off of it. So you know for sure that I'm not trying to get you to pump my bags.
Exactly. Truth is, we don't even know what your bags are. You keep that very on the hush-hush, and I'm proud of you for that. Even I don't even know. So, yeah, I think that's great. That's one of the things we want to try and teach you here is not just go with what we think is right, but do your own research. Decide for yourself, because only you know your financial situation.
Well, you know, I keep hush-hush about it because it's one of the rules of solvency. It's actually rule number 12. Don't show your wealth. Wealth whispers, debt screams. Live below your means.
Oh, I like that one. I like that. And Jason says, is Sol Wallet safe with the Ledger, or is that an option for Ledger? You know, Jason, I don't know. I don't actually own a Ledger. Any clue, Cyril?
I haven't touched my Ledger in quite some time because I just send stuff to it. Okay. So I think last time I touched my Ledger, Solana wasn't even a network. So I wouldn't be able to tell you, unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure it is, but I truly don't know off the top of my head. Rooster says, I feel personally attacked. He's laughing at us. Yeah, Jason, if you find out, bud, and you got any pointers, throw them in the Discord. Let everybody else know. That way, if they run into problems or you got any videos you like to share, man, do it. The more knowledge we can spread, the better.
Absolutely.
So let's give away an NFT in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big money, no whammies. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Ooh, the winner is BTK. My man. Congratulations, BTK. Okay, shoot me a DM with your Solana wallet address, and I will get this sent over to you, buddy. Congratulations, and thank you for always being here, my man.
Yeah, congrats, man.
Well done. Now, since I do have some favorites, if you sweet talk me or send me chocolate, yeah, we might work a deal out. Gotta keep my girl's figure.
You heard it here first. I guess if you order a case of Idaho Spud Bars and send them to Serenity's house, he'll add you to his favorites list.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. So yeah, Serenity BT is easy for me to say. I give up.
PTK, send Serenity a DM with your wallet address so he can your Solana wallet address so he can send that over to you. Thanks everybody for joining us. Make sure you see us tomorrow on Freaky Friday. That starts at 8 p.m. Central. Goes for about 2 hours. It's a whole lot of fun, a whole big mess, and you get to see me all stupid because I've had way too much happy juice. And you never know who else is going to show up. So we'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in.
Go. Thank you guys, and make sure to go out and vote for what the topic conversation is for tomorrow's Freaky Friday. It's on the YouTube channel in the community. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for Freaky Friday. Bye, guys.
See ya.